Back to Prime Morning, and I did say earlier before we went on that very quick break that we have a very interesting book to share with you. I will want to give you the reason you need to purchase this book, and it's all about mental health. You know that right here on Prime Morning. Last year, we started a series and we were trying to bring the awareness. In fact, we did bring the awareness on mental health, certain circumstances that people go through that affects their mental health. And it was amazing. We had so many callers. We had so many stories. Thank you so much. We are definitely bringing you a season 2 this year in the month of June. So gear yourself up for that. But this particular book has some amazing stories in there that I know that you would love to read about. And I have the author seated with me this morning. We're going to have one of the contributors of the book join us via Zoom for us to, delve deeper into her part that she contributed into making this book very, very whole for us to have. And so my guests are in the person of Zoe Baraka and Aba Cato Andah.
Cato Andah.
Cato, okay. Cato, okay. Aba Cato Andah, you are the authors.
Yes, we are.
Of the book Letters of Hope to My Younger Self. I started reading it, and some of the stories are just incredible, very incredible. You would never know that somebody, let me give for instance, Victor Bampo, the very first one in the book. I mean, looking at something that happened to him at birth caused what he went through when it comes to his mental health. And you want me to give it away? Go and get the book. But let's talk about the motivation or the drive. What made you come together to say, let's put together this amazing book?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having us.
Right.
It's a real privilege to be here. Mm-hmm. So I am a mental health professional. I'm a psychotherapist.
Yeah.
And I wrote another book 3 years ago called Reflections of a Hope Monger. And so my platform has been hope. And talking about mental health, hope is an essential ingredient to mental health. When people are depressed, when people are suicidal, the thing that goes away is hope, right? And so when we can give people hope, it gives them the motivation to push on. And it even takes us to the science of hope. Oftentimes we think of hope as an emotion. No, the science of hope says this: hope is the belief that tomorrow will be better, and that I have a role to play in it. And so which is where storytelling is powerful, because we give these situations and encourage people to say, you know what, you can think differently and begin to hope differently and get a different outcome. But the point being, though, that hope was a platform. On social media, Zoe has a show called To My Younger Self. And so we began to collaborate with a group of other people. We called ourselves the Hope Family. Okay. And so during COVID times, we'd come on about once a month or so, and we do these shows called Brewing Hope. And we talk about mental health in women, mental health in men, mental health in the holidays, and mental health in Black people, because we're both based in the States. And they resonated so much with people.
Right.
And then one day, although you carry on from that.
Right. Well, and I'm a filmmaker.
Okay.
And so one day, I guess we finished this Hope Brewing talk show, and our Hope siblings, as we call them, because every time Aba and I get together, there's just so many stories to share around. Just every tiny situation has, hey, let me tell you a story.
Right.
Let me tell you a story. And so our Hope siblings said, you guys should collaborate. You have so many stories in between you and all that. And we didn't think much about it, because we both were busy working and all that. And then, of course, I lost my job right after COVID, right? Mm-hmm. I'd lost a job, and I was just bored to tears. And quite honestly, if I'm being honest, a little depressed at that time. Okay. And so after much prayer, and of course, being a girl and a crybaby, I cried a lot, stuck in an empty, huge apartment up in New York, upstate New York. It was depressing, let's just say that. So one day, I call Aba very early. I remember because it was just after 7. And I say to her, sis, I remember they said collaboration, yada, yada. Just in case, do you want to maybe pray about it, think about it, and let's see if we can collaborate on this. And then, without
immediately,
hesitation,
I said yes. About 15 years prior, my husband and I had an idea to do a book called On Shoulders of Giants, where we would share stories from successful people's lives. And I want to say the thing about storytelling, stories are powerful. When you tell somebody something, they may shut down. But when you share a story, right, they engage in the story. They receive it, and then the lessons come to them. That's why Jesus spoke in parables.
Yes.
So storytelling itself is powerful. You can see yourself in people's stories, and it gives you that hope, which actually brings us back to the science of hope. You know, one of the ingredients for hope is motivation, cheerleaders, mentors. So basically, in this book, we are saying, you know what, here's 39 amazing Ghanaians
that you can look up to.
This is mentorship and give you the motivation to move on. And it covers a lot of situations that can impact people's mental health. Do you come from a family where maybe funds are low? There's a story in there. Like you mentioned, do you suffer from a health condition that causes you to be ostracized in community? There's a story in here. Do you fail in school or in a subject? There's a story in here of multiple stories of people somebody who didn't do well, you know, in an A-level, but is a neurosurgeon. Didn't do well at A-level, is a top lawyer. Didn't do well at A-level, is you know, at the highest.
It makes it very relatable.
Absolutely, that's the point.
It's not narrowed down to just one particular
You will see your story, you know. One of the beautiful stories here by Lucy Quist, who, you know, we all know and respect. And she talks about having to miss a whole term of school because of finances. You know, so these are the things that, again, people can hear and relate to and say, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it.
And so anyway, that's how we started to collaborate. And fun fact about us, I think we'd met on social media. That's how we became friends. In the grand scheme of things, Aba and I should not be friends because honestly,
there's
operate
age difference,
operate in different social structures. She lived in Florida. I'm in New York. We just would not know each other. The power of social media and technology, but we clicked right away. I went on her podcast, and then she came on my show, and then she came on my show again, and then she came on my show again. But long story short, we wrote this book entirely without meeting each other. We did all of that on Zoom.
On Zoom. We met each other for the first time at the virtual launch in America. That's the first, after a year and a half.
Wow. So speaking about Zoom, we are joined via Zoom, Dr. Ellen Hagen.
Yay!
Dr. Hagen, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. We don't live in a perfect world. I have so many devices and none of them were connecting with the internet issues. Oh la 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 la. Finally, I'm here.
But alas, you are here. And we are seeing you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Doc, I want you to share with us a little bit about what drove you to contribute your parts of your story to this book. Well, and what exactly is your story?
Aba gave me a call and asked me, he told me about their dream, and I said, wow, aren't I honored to be one of the chosen few? You know, I always say that there are so many people doing fantastic things in this world, and for some reason, God puts the radar on some of us, you know. And so I thought it was a real privilege to be given the opportunity to testify about the Lord's goodness. And you know, one person's story inspires another. So it is our hope and our dream that what we have been able to do in our small corner would propel others to see that it is doable. It is possible to make some impact in our world.
Can you share your story with us? What you contributed to the book? Yes.
Yeah. And it was very difficult because there were
Ooh.
so many instances I could have used
Okay.
stories to my younger self.
Yeah.
But I'm a businesswoman, an entrepreneur. So I thought I would share a story that will get other entrepreneurs to be encouraged. So now, what did I say? I remember there was this big dream, and I always get inspired by what Ellen Sirleaf Johnson said. Your dream at any particular time, your capacity to achieve that dream.
If it doesn't scare you.
Sorry, I'm distracted. Yeah, I'm distracted a bit. Sorry. So if your dream does not scare you, then they are probably not big enough.
Yeah.
So I felt at some point when I was getting all those awards, I had the privilege of meeting a lot of women, and I realized that a lot of them had their plates so full. They were very happy to be in middle management, and we're not hungry for leadership at all.
Wow.
So I felt that maybe for some of us, it may be too late. We just have to manage with the situation. But for the younger ones, we needed to encourage them. So I decided to start a school for women and teach them about the complexities of our world and how to navigate in it and to change their mindset, about the boxes that society tends to place on us.
Right.
So I got my fellow dreamer to be part of this scheme, and we thought because it was to do with women issues, definitely we'll get funding. I mean, really.
Okay.
The reality was totally not so true. And we were just moving from one place to the other, and they said we should start before any of the investors that we contacted. I mean, from whatever. We did get IMF to help us with a business plan.
Okay.
So, it made us see that our dream made sense.
Right.
It made business sense.
Yeah.
And so we went on and on and on. And then since they kept on telling us we should start, how do you start a school without any money? Really? So we went to talk to certain people to partner with us so that we would do the school. And we got land from the chief of Akuse, and he was a visionary. So he sold the land to us for something very reasonable, but asked that we ensure that we included the women in the community in the form of scholarships when the school was built, which was very easy to do, isn't it? We thought, well, but now the sweetness of the pudding is in the eating. What's happening? All right, good.
We can
Am
hear
I still
you.
there?
Yeah, you're still here.
Yeah. So we went to see some architects, some construction people that, we will do it on trust. But when it got to a point where they also needed their money and we couldn't, pay up, and, I was having sleepless nights and all that.
Okay.
I decided that we will go and look for equity partners, because even though we were credit worthy, we felt the loan would be too difficult for us to manage. So we went to look for equity partners, and that's where the story, my story to my younger self came in. I own another business.
Okay.
But I own 100% of that business. HR company is the only HR company in the Ghana Club 100. I'm very proud of that fact.
Okay.
And I have managed that company for almost 30 years. I think we'll be 30 this year or next year, if memory serves.
Right.
So, so it's easy, to to understand that model.
Okay.
You know, if you don't get into the right partnerships, you know, it's just like getting into some sort of marriage, and if you don't get it right and there is divorce in quotes, what do you do?
Dr. Hagen,
So
I don't
it was
want you giving it
difficult.
all away.
Yes.
I don't want you giving it all away, because if you don't take care, you might get there. People need to go find out in the book. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes.
But can I just say, I think that the powerful thing is that she showed that even when we are successful, there's different learning curves.
Yes.
So she had to relearn. She had to re-encourage herself.
Right.
Just because she'd had a track record of success.
Very true.
You know, she had to then learn again and then dream and take herself outside her comfort zone. You know, another thing I admire about Dr. Hagen is that despite the success, in professional success, she also identified the things that are important to her in life.
Right.
And that made her, and actually talk about mental health, it's important to know your values. For her, it's her family.
Yeah.
And so her quote, actually, if I can, I lost it. She said, she quotes from the song Flying Without Wings, right? And she said, everybody's looking for that something, one thing that makes it all complete.
Yeah.
Some find it in the face of their children. Some find it in their lovers' eyes. Who can then deny the joy it brings when you are flying without wings? And so for her, she knew, clear, despite everything, what was important to her.
Family.
And I think this is an important thing for young people to hear.
Yeah.
Even as you are chasing your goals,
Yeah.
also know your values. Also know what's important to you.
True.
Strike the balance. Like
Strike the
work-life
balance in life.
balance,
Yeah.
You know exactly
True.
what you're doing. Yeah.
Very true. Dr. Ellen Hagen, thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful morning. Bye.
Congratulations once again, Zoe
Yes.
and
Thank
Aba.
you, Auntie Ellen.
See you later
Thank
on
you,
in the
Ellen.
day.
See you later on.
Yes,
Thank you.
see
Bye.
So we have 39 contributors
Yes.
in this book.
Yes.
How did you get all of them, share their stories and put this together?
We had to show resilience. We made a long list of people who were making a positive impact,
Okay.
and many of them, of course, were successful. We didn't choose them because they were financially rich.
Okay.
Although many of them had the success, the financial that goes with success. And so we reached out to them and we said to them, think about a time in your life when you went through a difficult thing or a crossroads, and knowing now what you know about life, write a letter to yourself. We reached out, we had a long list.
The list.
Right? And then we wrote it, we had to keep encouraging them, reaching out to them, then finally they sent their letters. Then we brought them in one at a time and we interviewed them because we wanted to get more nuggets.
Right.
They said, we said 20 minutes. They all gave us an hour interview. So now here we are with all these letters, over 40 hours of content.
Audio and visual
Yeah.
content.
And we had to cull it into this book and make it simple enough that people can read it at leisure and still receive the messages.
And just to interject there, I think, to be honest, we thought we might get
15. We thought we'd get
at the
15,
most,
yeah.
15 people.
Okay.
But
So we
my
were
goodness,
shocked when people
we
just kept coming.
yes, yes.
And that's another feature of successful people,
Yeah.
impactful people. They want to leave a legacy. And that was the whole thing. There's so many young people who feel hopeless, who feel like, because of my circumstances, how can I
There is no
be
hope.
what you are?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How many of them have access to these people? But here we are, 39 mentors, right?
And you
Sharing
can
their
get
story
to be
here.
up close with them
Absolutely.
in this book.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if someone is interested in getting it, how did they do that?
Yes, so just we have a distributor in Accra, and he goes all over the country. Just WhatsApp 054 393 3380.
The number again, please.
054 393 3380.
And how much is the book going for?
The book is going for 150 CDs.
150.
What we are doing, though, is
Let me pull up the
because of the next generation, we are encouraging our generation. We donate because we are looking to give out 1,000 copies to gift to young people, SSS, JSS, tertiary institutions, So if you're listening and you want to help out, again, the number is 054 393 3380.
Okay, so I believe the launch is happening today.
It's tonight. Yeah,
Tonight.
tonight. This
4 p.m.
afternoon, 4 p.m.
Right.
Yes. It is at the
Where?
signature Art Gallery at the Signature Apartment. So that's Boundary Road, East Legon.
Okay. Oh, that beautiful building.
That beautiful
Oh,
building.
yeah.
Yes.
The one that on the aerial view looks like staircase.
Yes,
does.
yes.
Yeah, very
It
beautiful
will be a night
building.
of hope. It won't be your ordinary, boring
No, it is
book
immersive.
club.
It's going to be wild.
It will be wonderful.
Hopefully you can make it.
Yes, please.
Show
Yes.
up.
Join
And
us.
show out.
I will be there.
Thank
There we
you.
go.
I will be there. I will be there. Viewers, so this book, like the authors have mentioned, whatever story that you're looking for, you might think that, oh, you're all alone in this world. Get you this book. And it will wow you to know that your story might be in there and your hope might be in this as well. And so don't lose hope. There is always light at the end of the tunnel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for this amazing book. This is great. And thank you for bringing all these people together to share their stories to the world and to the next generation.
Thank you.
God bless you immensely. And so my guests today have been Aba Cato Andah and Zoe Baraka. But I saw a gentleman in there with a Cato surname.
Yes, yes. Well, we actually, both of our fathers are in the book too. Yes, both of our, and actually, not that we are bragging, but their stories are so beautiful.
We are bragging.
We are bragging. My father shares a story. He was with Ghana's Foreign Service. He's a civil servant for almost 50 years. But he shares that, I think it was the second year, he was almost sacked. That's the story he shares, So imagine almost being told, you know what, that's it, you are gone.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen. You go on to work for almost 50 years. Right, for the organization. So again, that encouragement is beyond. Beyond.
This is beautiful.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you so much.
Thank you.
Viewers, we can't wait to see you tonight, 4 p.m. sharp at the Signature Apartments. Make sure you find your way.
There's an art gallery there.
The art gallery at the Signature Apartments. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful morning. And that's it for this particular segment. But coming up next,